right? All right. So, hello everybody, right? So, happy Wednesday and a big welcome to our very first Mav Talk. We've been playing around with this concept for a while. The whole idea is basically have sessions on the various aspects of our club, right? It is more on the information side than kind of a meet and greet side, because a lot of times we, from a board perspective, we always wind up getting the same questions again, and we really want to create a sort of a referential material going forward where people can refer to it and the members basically just know, right? They get a better, a more authoritative source of reference than just something like hearsay or grapevine. So the very first session that we're going to be doing is actually uh, it's interesting. It's communication. I wish I could say it's an easy session, but it wound up, once we put all the materials together, we wound up realizing that it is pretty in depth. And honestly, it's no surprise because of the size of our club and the amount of activities we do and the amount of communication, interactive communication areas that we provide. So we did take a good stab at it to cover as much as we could, right? Couple of small things over here, right? Like if you have questions and comments, just put them in the chat, and maybe Michael, you can track them out, and you can at end of the session you can just ask um, the not the best question, but we're going to have about 15-20 minutes that we're going to cover almost all the questions that will get asked. But hopefully, once we go through today's session, right, it will be, we should have auto answered a bunch of questions, hopefully. So that's the whole idea, right? So again, big welcome, right? Today comms is all packed, right? So we really have to like um, intro talk about Pat first. Like she is our very first Mav Talks speaker. She is also the vice president. She's also the VP of the Maverick region. So yeah, Pat, right? She is the communications chair. And I believe, I know she's out of Fort Worth, but yeah, like we just want to take a moment and welcome Pat. So Pat, welcome to this thing, and uh, like always, it's always fun to chat with you. I call her like for a 5 minute conversation, it winds up being like a 45-minute conversation, and no regrets, right? Never regrets, right? Thank you, Pat, for spending some time with us.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. Yes, I have been a Maverick since July of 2021, and it has been quite the ride, literally and figuratively. Um, I bought my first Porsche car in June of 21, and she's a white Boxster, and I love her very much. And she has brought a lot of joy into my life, and my husband and I are having a great time with her doing so many things we never imagined we would do. So it's been quite a journey, and I'm having a great time.
Again, awesome to have you, Pat, like always, right?
Yes.
So just diving right into it, right? So Pat, I did, when I first joined the region, right? Um, I did one of the very first things I obviously did was, look up Facebook, being the millennial that I am, right? And I did find a bunch of Facebook groups. But what happened was eventually I started getting emails, I started getting, different, and also word of mouth, right? So, do you want to spend a few minutes and just chat with us on what are all the various communication channels that we mostly use for outbound communications with our members?
Great. Thanks, Anjan. So we have at least four different ways that we communicate with our members. And please know that we have over 4,000 members in our region. If you're not familiar with it, but we go all the way from Wichita Falls, all the way down to Waxahachie, over to Weatherford and Tyler. So you can imagine how large of an area we have to cover. So we do the best we can with our communication, but we can always improve. And with input, we'd be glad to do as much as we can. So our first form is email. And right now we send out at least one weekly email to the members telling them about all the events that are going to be happening in the next week. Actually, I go out about 4 weeks to tell you what's coming up in case there's something you need to register for or just so you can put it on your calendar. So email comes to you from eNews at eNews. We get the emails from the PCA, Porsche Club of America. They're the ones that compile that, and that information is garnered through your information that you enter when you sign up as a member on PCA, the Porsche Club of America. So if you're not getting my emails, I would request that you go back and double check your email. And if not, we'll go over later on how we can troubleshoot that for you. Then we have several pages on Facebook that you will find us active on. We have the Maverick Region, we have the Mavs and Mocha page, and then we have a Maverick Women Behind the Wheel page as well. So there are three different Facebook pages. We try to be consistent when we're posting events so that it goes through on all three different channels. And of course, that's why we use emails because not everybody is on Facebook. And we realize that. And then Anjan was kind enough to come up with a mobile app. So later on, you'll be able to see, we'll show you where you can find a place to download our mobile app. And it has almost everything that our website has. And we'll link you to all these different areas where we communicate with you, our members. And then finally, sometimes we do sometimes use Facebook events. We don't use it very often for registering people. We use a whole nother channel to do that. I think that's what you're referring to right there. Is that right, Anjan?
Yeah. That's absolutely right, right? And talking about Facebook, when we can double down on this one, right? So we do have three Facebook groups. The first one is the Maverick Region group. Um, the second one is Mavs and Mocha. And one of the big questions we always get is what is the difference between these two groups, right? So the primary difference is the membership cocktail, right? For Maverick Region PCA group, we do our extreme best to only add in members of the Maverick Region PCA. We do have a few exceptions around, like we might add members of another region or the vice presidents and the social chairs of neighboring regions and stuff like that. But as much as we can, we try our best to have members of the Maverick Region PCA members in there. Whereas Mavs and Mocha is much more open, right? We also include members who want to be part of the PCA but have not joined yet. Who want to buy a Porsche but have not had a decision done yet or have not taken the plunge, right? So Mavs and Mocha is much more informal. We also try to put all the coffee meets of Mavs and Mocha just because of the name to sync it up. And of course, last but not the least, we do have the Maverick Women Behind the Wheels group, Pat. And Pat is actually a pretty, I mean, right? Pretty prominent member of the Maverick Women Behind the Wheel group. And yeah, and that's actually a very active page out there, right, Pat?
Yes, absolutely. Doing all kinds of stuff. So on yeah, on those
Yeah,
pages, you'll
correct.
find out most of our stuff. So.
Yeah, and we'll double check on what we on the basic etiquette and the rules on the pages, what we allow, what we don't allow in a later slide. But we will be double clicking on that aspect for sure, right? Um, Very quickly, let's chat about the website. Uh, another item actually I didn't maybe I should disclose is I am actually the webmaster for mapdca.org. I do run the website, and when we first came along, right, one of the big important things that we did was consolidate all the calendars, right? We have a different about 12 different subcategories in our calendar, right from coffee mates to HPD to Maverick Women Behind the Wheels, autocross, the regular events. We have about 12 of them, and we did our level best to kind of make sure that it's all integrated in one calendar. So, to tell you very honestly, our website is the one-stop hub to everything. We also publish Slipstream over there once the print edition is posted out. So you can actually read digital versions of the Slipstream, and it goes all the way back. We also have the historical version of the Slipstream, I believe, right up till the 1970s or the 60s over there. It is in the website, believe it or not. Uh, we have classifieds over there, and it's also a great place to buy merchandise. Right, we have a very active shop, a merchandise shop. Everything from the shirt I'm wearing all the way to flags and posters. You can the website has a link. You can actually go to a Shopify page to get those items in, right? The big deal, the most important aspect about honestly about the website is the calendar, right? So you can actually refer to the calendar. The calendar is integrated across multiple channels. I'll just talk about that in a later slide. But and a most important thing that I've found that's very useful, which a lot of members have come and asked me about it. The reason is because when I took it off, a lot of members came and asked me where did that option go. Is actually you can connect your Google Calendar, this calendar, to your family calendar. So a lot of us have calendars at work, have calendars with running the family stuff. My wife does, so we actually add it to it, and that creates a lot of visibility. And we love family, right? So I think it's a great thing, great option to do over here, right? um, Weekly schedule, right? So this is where I think in the last few years, what I've seen is Pat did take a good deal of charge on this to streamline it and make it predictable, right? Um, so, Pat, when you came in, what did you see when you joined in as a communications chair? What did you see? And it was a journey to where we are at right now, right? You just want to give us a quick overview of how you tackled this whole communication of events problem for us.
Yeah. Well, communication, of course, is very important to the club, and we do have a lot of different committees working for us as the Maverick region and trying to round everybody up in a timely fashion and get them to communicate their events to us, when they are, how to register, if they need to register, if we need to pay, so on and so forth. And has just and they randomly show up in an inbox for me to do. And so one of the things that I've tried to do is limit the number of emails that we send out to the club members, because I find that people get overwhelmed or they start ignoring the emails that are sent to them from us. So I came up after seeing another region using a weekly email. We decided to move towards a weekly email in an effort to consolidate the number of emails that you will receive. Of course, this week was will not that will not be the case. You will have received one on Monday. You'll get one Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday as well, which is very abnormal. But I tried to limit it to one a week. Sometimes there's probably two, but this week, for some reason, it just happened that there were a lot of things going on that people needed me to refresh people's memories on. And one was this. And another is that we've added some additional information to our mobile app. So, but it the weekly email is really the goal is to try and get everybody to focus on the one email that will come on Thursday or Friday, more consistently on Thursday to you, so that you'll know what's going to happen that weekend and to be able to plan out for the whole month. So it's a lot of fun, it's a lot of work, but it's important for us to communicate to everybody about that.
Yeah. And very similar thing we did with the Facebook posting. We about either on Wednesday evening or Thursday midday, right? We do post on Facebook the events for that weekend. We call it the weekend update. Um, um, it is actually extremely popular, but eventually now what has happened is our basic goal is for the people to members to be able to realize and use the calendar. So a lot of these events are pointing back to the calendar, and I'm seeing that people are referencing the calendar and they kind of know better. So I'm kind of glad. The purpose of the Facebook post wasn't like to be on your face and give you information in a nagging fashion. It was actually to show you where to refer, what to refer. Second thing is one very good, important, and interesting thing we do with both the emails and the posts is actually have the registration links also, right, Pat? So
Yes.
that, yeah, you want to just mention that too and just give us an idea behind that too, right?
Sure. So in each of the emails that I send, if there's an event where you need to register, that registration link should be at the very top along with the date and the time and the location. And typically I will link the address so that or to a map so that all you have to do is go back to the email and you'll be able to go map out where you want to go or click on
Yeah.
the link to register there right then. So you're not having to fish around for it or go back to the calendar to look for it. We want to make it
Yeah.
as easy as possible for everybody to be able
Yes.
to access that information.
Yes, and this is one of the big, not big reason, one of the reasons why Pat's email actually goes down 4 weeks, because we get an opportunity to actually provide the registration links for events that are 4 weeks in advance. So you have a we provide the members enough head start than run out of seats, right? So I think that's a big value proposition. So also when you get an email, make sure you look if there's any registration needs for future events, and if you're going to join, you have it right there on the money, right?
Absolutely. Thanks, Anjan.
Um, this actually is an important point because we do get uh, eh, members who are new, members who have been with us for like 20 years. Everybody at some point in time have this problem, right? So Pat, you want to just dig into it a little bit on this aspect?
Yeah. So the step one shows you this is where your weekly emails will come from this address. So if for some reason you're not receiving any emails, um, this is the first place where you should look. Make sure it's not going to your spam, and you can add it to your good list so that it won't reject it. But if you're still not getting it, then we would request the first place you do is go back to pca.org and check your membership and make sure we have the right email in there and make sure it's current because sometimes we type in the wrong letter or whatever happens. And then if that's not the case, then please email comm@mavpca.org so that I can do some research because we have found that PCA sometimes blocks people. I can't tell you why they do that, but I have had at least two members reach out to me and have discovered that PCA had them on their no email list and have since removed their names and emails. So please don't hesitate to let me know if you're not getting any emails from us.
Yes, and a couple of important points here to note, right, is point number one is it's the pca.org, the emails that we configure as a member in pca.org website is the one that is getting used to send out the email blast from our side. And
Right.
the second thing is I'm not maybe I might be wrong here, but as far as I know, and I can add things up, is like you need to be an active member to receive the email, right? You might, I'm not very sure if a past member gets it or not, but for let's just say for the sake of simplicity, right, that I believe you need to have an active PCA membership to get our emails. But again,
That is
you have
cool.
you have other avenues like the calendar and stuff, right? So if you want to track us out, right? So just a
Right.
note on this aspect, right? Because a lot of people they set up an older email address that they want to use for junk in that pca.org, and then we forget about it. So it's a good thing to double check.
That's true.
Hey, Pat, if I can interject here just for 1 second for clarification, those of you who don't know that comm email for Pat is COMM. It's short for communication. So it's comm at mavpca.org.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you, Michael.
Um, all right, so let's dig into the other aspect. This is how we get emails. Now let's talk about what do we communicate. I know, Pat, you are big on this. You are big on the fact that you don't want to communicate junk out, because that basically dilutes the value of our communication, right? So we again, you dug into uh, did a lot of decision making over here, and you just want to walk us through on what do we communicate.
Sure. Thanks. So basically, what we're trying to communicate to all of you is what's happening in the club. And so this could be anything from our monthly Mavs and Mocha, where we, on the second Saturday of every month, we go somewhere new and different and meet um, typically over 100 Porsches and more people than that, have some coffee and donuts. So that's one of the things that we always communicate with you. And then occasionally we'll have sponsors. We have not occasionally we have sponsors. We have sponsors and advertisers, and they ask us to relay that information for any events that they have. So we try to be pretty discreet on what we allow. If we're having a big event on one day and they want us to publicize something, sometimes we will not publicize their event because we want to have the chance for our members to really know that here's the event that we're promoting for you, our member. So we do kind of screen some of the things that we do or do not email to you all as well. So it's things that are happening within the club and announcements, anything that's happening. Like, for instance, you just received an email today about our app, our mobile app, telling you that we've added a new line of communication so that you, the members, can directly from the mobile app actually see the inventory at all four of our Porsche dealers. That's pretty exciting. And you'll be able to, we have specific names for sales and parts and things of that nature so that you, the member, will be able to relate to those people immediately. So, those types of things, surveys and questionnaires. Right now, we're working every once in a while, we come up with a survey that we want to ask you, the members, to try and get you more involved in what we're doing and find out what it is that you're interested in. So we'll send out a quick survey. Typically, they're not going to be more than 5 questions because we don't want to make it complicated. And we will try to respond to all those ideas. After we have a big event, when we've had the all member party, we send out an email, or maybe it was Founders Day, excuse me, to find out what were the likes and dislikes. And the next time we have our Founders Day party, we're going to make sure we adjust based on those responses. And as Mavericks, we also have several charities that we work with in our area. And we have volunteering opportunities where we'll go out there and work hands on with each one of those. For instance, Wipe Out Kids Cancer or Valina Pope Home in Fort Worth. Wipe Out Kids Cancer is in Dallas. So we have the National Breast Cancer Foundation, and there are a couple of others that we work with as well. So we will tell you about any opportunities if you are interested in doing that as well. So those are the types of things that you'll receive emails about.
Yeah, and again, guys, this is what we've kept this extremely high level. So, for example, right, club events is not just like gonna be Mavs and Mocha. It's actually gonna be the happy hour. It's actually gonna be the meet and greet at the
DEs.
dealer. Yeah, stuff like that. For example, service and questionnaire also has the trivia that we run, like a really long running trivia that we do every 2 months with some really interesting gifts. So it's definitely a lot in there, but this is a very high level category for sure from our side, right?
Yes, club events, correct.
Uh,
We get all
so
our information
digging,
from the calendar. Yeah.
yeah. So digging a little bit deep, right, to give you guys perspective. Michael, maybe you can help me over here because it's always a changing number, right? Like, how many chairs do we have now finally? How many departments and chairs do we have finally? So I know I'm on the website. I did count like 25. Maybe Carrie and Michael, you guys can give me like a decent number on this one. Oh,
Michael, you're
you're on
muted.
mute.
Yes, that number is pretty close, and we have several committees that consist of multiple chair people. So tours has three, and the women behind the wheel, I believe, has two, and some of the others. So yeah, there are multiples out there. So yes, we have quite a few board members on our committees that are very active and participate.
Yeah. Yeah. So about 25 odd chairs, right? So Pat, how does this whole system work, right? Because we have about 61 uh, chairs and 20 or 25 odd committees, right?
Yeah.
How do you manage to keep this thing in a structure and a process perspective?
So I'm going to pick on the high performance drivers education or whatever we want to call it,
HPD.
HPDE. And they have a schedule and they typically send it to me. And so from that, each chair is asked to send me an email telling me about their events. And so the HPDE will send me their information and they'll tell me which whether it's going to be at Eagles Canyon or Crescent or up in Anna, then they're going to tell me the date, the time, the cost, the registration link. So they have to put all this information together for me, along with all the information about the costs and if there's going to be an ad to promote it so that Anjan and I can put it on, or he can put it on Facebook and on that. So they have to create a club registration, a link to pay for it. If there's a payment required, sometimes we use Club Reg just to know how many people are going to be coming to an event, but we have to have that information before we set it up. And then the event gets added to the calendar thanks to Anjan. Then we send out the emails and post it on Facebook and have mobile app notifications as well. And if we need to send reminders, then we end up doing that. We ask them to let us know a schedule. Like if it's something that's 6 weeks out that we're going to notify people about, when do they want me to send in emails? So if it's at 6 weeks and 4 weeks and 2 weeks, do they want to change it? So there's a lot of information that comes into me, and sometimes it takes a little digging between both of us to get that out, along with the fact that we like to recognize any sponsors that we have for some of these events. For instance, in the DE, it doesn't happen without sponsors. So we want to make sure that when we send out the emails and we post it on Facebook, that we recognize all our sponsors as well. So it takes a lot of information to put the emails together. It's not just a wham. It's not something you just throw together. It typically
Yeah.
takes about, for me to do the weekly email, it takes me almost an hour and a half to do that one. For all the other emails, they can take me 15 minutes depending on if I have all the information at one time.
Yeah, yeah. And just to give you an example on how in-depth this email is, like for example, HPDE, right? We send an HPDE email out. The reply to that email is actually connected to the HPDE chairs. So, we do take it into account that if a member has a question on that email, he doesn't reply, it actually goes to the right chairperson and so on. If tours email goes out, the reply to the tours email, actually the reply all that you hit on goes to the tours chairs, and the tours chairs can help answer your questions for you. So getting an email, is not just going to be a one-way thing. You can actually reply to that email with your questions, and we'll make sure that the email is designed or programmed to go to the right chair to kind of start your line of communication for you, right? So
Yes.
that's so small things like that is while we are at this one, right? Looks like even from the chat, looks like calendar seems to be everybody's top question, right? Um, very quickly on the calendar, right? So we do use Google Calendar as our backend right now, simply because it works, and also I have a history with it. I've been using it in my past life, so I kind of know the way around it, how to make it work for specific scenarios, right? The calendar is sorted by event type. I believe right now we have about 12 different event types that we have sorted the calendar out. I didn't want to make one per committee because it just becomes too much for us to manage. Um, Big important part of this is the calendar is auto synced to multiple places, right? It is auto synced on the different pages in the home page. It is auto synced to our app, the mobile phone app that we have. It is we do so Pat basically trying to convince her to do it, but I technically use an AI tool to create my weekly email. So the AI tool actually is connected to my to the Google Calendar to rip up the weekend events. So Pat, I'm sorry, but it takes me about 20 seconds now. I'm sorry
Yeah.
to bang this on you, but whenever you are ready, right? So even that tool is actually connected to the calendar from a read-only perspective, and everything is synced. Why is this awesome? Is because uh, we get an opportunity, a bunch of three committees actually manage their own calendars at as of this moment, right? I mean, classic example is Lisa Ward with Maverick Behind the Wheelchair co-chair, right? She puts in the Maverick Behind the Wheels events in the calendar, and it just goes through and through everywhere, right? She can update the date, she can update a registration link. So we did shift left a bit to get the chairs enabled on this aspect, and of course it's standardized, so there's no multiple places going and changing. We can update things up, and also the mobile app, right? So one of the and we'll cover the mobile app in a minute, but one of the things that was very critical for us was actually make the mobile app connect to the calendar, because that's one of the uh, because again, in a mobile app, just like I said, shift left for the calendar chairs, the mobile app helped us shift right, meaning it enabled the members go a step further to use the calendar, and I'll cover that in a second, right? Anything I missed here, Pat, right, from a calendar perspective? Pretty.
No, I did see one note on here from one individual who's expressed concern about what we call our weekly pop-ups, the coffee groups. And so that is mentioned. The coffee groups are on the calendar. Anjan has made sure that the coffee groups are all on there, and they've been on there for I don't know how long. Yes, the Fort Worth coffee group was meeting at Roy Pope for almost 3 years, and we've moved to Central Market now, and it was on Facebook, and basically the way I communicate about the coffee groups is at the very bottom, um, where I indicate that there are coffee groups and go to the calendar. But as you pointed out, perhaps I could be a little more specific about that, and that would be fine. But it has been going on, and a lot of that occurs on Facebook on the Mavs and Mocha and not through an email. So that is true. That is perhaps one of my deficiencies and something that we can address.
Yeah, and it's and WHB, right? We've been tracking the coffee group since 2 years, is what I guess Wendy wanted to mention. It didn't take, we were aware of them, but the calendar wasn't like structurally capable. When I joined in as a web chair a few months, not month, a year and a half, 2 years ago, right? I couldn't integrate it in the calendar, and that's the reason why I had to revamp the whole thing, right? So we do have it in the calendar since the day we could integrate it in, and yeah, it's been there for a while now, almost two, at least ever since I was a web chair, it's been there. uh, One more thing is a great point, Pat, is what I also know and I realize is uh, we don't segregate the events based on location. So we're not gonna be like this is Fort Worth only. We might have some keywords in there, but we're not gonna be like Fort Worth only or Plano only or whatchamacalling, Flower Mound only event, right? And this is for an obvious reason because we just want to be welcoming. It's great because I know I go a bunch of times to Plano. It takes me a while to get there. I go once in a while to Fort Worth. We do mix and match everything all over the aspect, right? Um, the, we at least I when we created those events, we I did a decision. I know it's me, but we made sure that it is all in all inclusive, right? It's not an event
Right.
region specific because we are one big region. Just wanted to put that out there, right?
Okay.
All right, awesome. So, this is it's an interesting topic, right? Uh, Club registration, like classic, right? Dennis, you did mention like, oh, is was there? Don just mentioned when he was getting it, like, was there a club reg here for it, right? Even I asked this question to Pat, like, when do we use club reg, right? When am I got logging in? When am I not supposed to? So, the answer, ironically, was extremely simple, right, Pat? I know the slide explains it, but you want to take take the answer for that one, right?
Oh. So, club registration is it's the website is clubregistration.net. You can see it at the very bottom of the slide. There is what we use for our events. They can be events that require a payment, or they can be events that are at no cost. But this calendar or this app or whatever you would like to call it, this website allows us to use it functionally to promote events and to keep track of all the people that are going to come, whether it's free or whether they pay or not. It is a very, uh, if you're brand new to the club and you've not seen it yet, please go to clubregistration.net and sign up for it so that when the event comes that you want to register for, you'll be able to go directly and log in. It's very simple to log in and create your own username and ID and things of that nature. But for instance, we're having a dinner at Joe T. Garcia's on Sunday, August 2nd. And we wanted everybody to be able to register and pay for this event. So we had to go in and create an event where the individual can go and tell us that there's going to be two of them and then have the opportunity to pay at that time the fee for that. And if they don't pay at that time, then we have a way to go back and say, hey, you haven't paid yet. Please come back onto Club Reg and pay for the event. It allows us to print out a list of all the people that are attending the event. It's basically just a way for us to keep track of all the people that are come attending an event. And like I said, it's also for when we have volunteer events. For instance, the charity group has already sent me notification on two events that they're going to have in late September and October, and they want me to come up with club registration events for both links for both of those, and they're very easy to get into.
Yes, and one interesting thing over here, right, is obviously when we need a max and a minimum head count to manage an event, of course we when we need to take money and manage and take do waivers and stuff like that. But you also have to realize that because the very nature of an event needing a max and a min head count means that if you can't make up to an event, we always wind up having a waiting list made in the club registration. So if you cannot make to an event, it's always a great idea to like go into club reg and say no, you cannot make it, so that the waiting list can actually bump into the regular item, right? We have seen this a lot in tours, so that helps quite a bit if that's the thing, right?
Correct.
One question I'll very quickly tell is, does Clubrest charges even for no cost event? I honestly don't know. Yeah, answer is no, right? As far as I know,
The
it's a
answer is no. That
yeah,
is
but you
correct.
never know
So,
for yeah,
yes, the
go ahead,
only
Pat.
time, right, we have to pay a fee for using Club Reg when we accept a payment. It's just like a credit card fee that is charged to us, just like if you go to any other vendor. So
Yes.
we do have to take that into account.
Yeah, yeah, and of course the donations. We do need to do a better job at mentioning this is a donation. So, for example, all the tours money goes to the Children's Cancer Fund that we have. We are aware of it, and we are gonna be very clear on what money is donation and what money goes up on this fund. Right. Um, all right, I'm just gonna put PJT on mute. All right, going forward, right? Very quickly, we'll talk about the mobile app, right? So this is relatively new. I mean, it's about a year old now. It is integrated very tightly with our website. A couple of things we do over here is we do have push notifications for club event, and we have reminders out here. The cool thing about this thing is there is a calendar integration in the mobile app, like the second screenshot that you see, and and it's pretty neat. The reason it's neat is if you click on the calendar, you actually can click on the what you're calling the address, the map address, and it opens up Google Maps and gives you like the routing directions right there. So you can actually, I literally sit in the car. I click on the calendar entry. I click on the maps and it takes me to Plano Poco. It takes me to the Tech Talk location wherever it is. So we do when we put the calendar, we do take extreme care to make sure that the location is correct and integrated to like a location in existence so that the mapping tools can connect and make it work, right? You can donate to charities right through the app. A lot of people don't know, but you can actually donate. It takes you to the charity website where you can use your Apple Pay and all that, or a credit card stored in your app in your phone itself to go donate straight off the bat. Recently, like Pat said, we have added dealer inventory and contact and specific names. So we have added people names of dealer salespersons from the dealer side service rep, and a couple of dealers we also have the service technician that they have recommended for us, right? And these guys are aware that they have been shared with the PCA Maverick region, and this is a little bit we want to do because we do have, we talk to the dealers. They are our sponsors. They help keep the club running, so we really want to like involve them more, and that's the reason why we have done that, right? We do have club news in there. We send it out. Last but not the least, right, which is actually pretty um, interesting, is we do have classifieds, that is buy and sells in the mobile app and the website. So you can actually put in all your posture specific items in there. Hopefully, no, it's not Facebook Marketplace, but it's very Porsche specific. People do get notification that there's a new buy and sell item in the website or the app, and you get it. You go to the mavpca.org. I have links over there down there to download the app if you need to. If you need, again, like Pat said, right, we are very stringent about what we send out as push notifications. So it's not like you're going to get like 20 notifications a day. Maybe 3 notifications a week is more around that part. I did get feedback that we should send the weekly update as push notifications, and that's an excellent feedback that I can easily integrate. But yeah, that's what it is. Anything I'm missing, Pat, Michael, on the mobile app, if you guys want to chime in?
No, I think the app has been a big help.
Yeah. Once you start using it, it becomes very it's integrated into your lifestyle pretty well. That's what I also believe in for sure. For example, the elections for the committee last year, we did it through the app, right? So stuff like that. So it's pretty well integrated with our club activities.
Yes.
Um, Communications we don't do, right? It looks obvious, but we really wanted to touch a little bit on this one, right? All yours, Pat, on this one.
Yeah, we're not going to call you. We don't make any phone calls as a group, as the Maverick region, to our members. You should not receive any phone calls. The only time we might call you is if you have registered for an event and we have a question. But there will not be any mass robocalls from the Maverick region to you at your home. So if you think you get one saying that I'm stranded somewhere in Mexico City, I am not. So don't believe it. As far as phone and text messaging on your mobile, we really don't do that either. The only thing you might get, obviously, is Anjan's push notifications from the mobile app, but we don't sit there and text you on your cell phone because there's no reason to do that. You get enough messages from everybody else. You don't need any more from us. And of course, no gift card spamming. We're not into that. And we don't, we do have gift cards to our shop, but we don't do gift card spamming. No.
Yeah,
No.
whatever the latest scam, I'm far behind the whole scamming business right now. So whatever the latest scam. One thing I'm going to add is Club Reg does send you text notifications sometimes as reminders and for the waiver signatures and stuff like that. I did
That's true.
realize that. So that's actually pretty important text message because that's how they authenticate you. You know what I mean? Like, because you are signing a waiver, they need two types of authentication and sending you a text message to kind of say that, yes, this is Anjan, it's another waiver. So keep an eye on the club registration text message that comes in, because that's how, you get to validate that the person signing the waiver is actually Anjan, right? If that made any sense. I'm not very great at lawyer speak, but that's how it works, right? Um, Quickly moving
Yes.
on, right? Yes, go ahead, Pat, if you had anything on that.
No, I was going to say it also sends reminders. Like if you've signed up for something on Club Reg, you will get something texted to you. That is correct, as Wendy pointed out, because we'll send reminders to you again if there's a question that we have about your registration, or if it's a DE and we need you to sign the waiver and things of that nature, then you will get additional text from us. But overall, there will not be mass texts from the Maverick region to you asking you for something.
Yes, yes. And again, direct communications, right? This is something that we want to click on if we can. All yours, Pat, right, on this, because this becomes like a pretty it sometimes it's obvious, but a lot of times we miss the obvious, right? So all yours on this slide.
Michael might be able to might want to chime in on this one as well. But we do allow on our Facebooks for people to post about pop-ups if they want to have a pop-up at a coffee shop, or if they want to do something else. Um, uh, Go back one page there. Pop-ups and things like that. We will do that, but we do not want you to. Hey, Anjan, you skipped forward on your slide.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. So if this one's a challenging one, members, so as far as tours, those are official Maverick PCA tours. Those will show up on our different Facebook pages and emails. But if you, an individual, want to have a pop-up drive, that needs to be on your own personal uh, email. It cannot be on our Maverick official Maverick page for a whole host of reasons. Mostly that the PCA/Maverick Region have a whole slew of rules that we have to follow when it comes to a tour. And you have to have insurance, you have to sign a waiver, and all kinds of things of that nature. So if you want to have a tour, if you want to get your friends to go for a drive on Sunday morning, please make sure you only post it on your Facebook page and not on our
Good.
Maverick region. So that's something we really want to clarify. If you
Right.
want to ask for some help on buying something, or you're concerned, or you want to know where you can go get your car wrapped, or where else can I get my oil changed, then for random questions like my windows don't go up and down and I want to do this on my own, who can help me with this? Then please feel free to post those kind of questions on our Facebook pages. And if you have something for sale related to your Porsche, you may post that on our website group as well. So if you want to sell your car, or if you have some wheels or I don't know what else you might have. Stickers that go on your car, then feel free. You may post those on there as well. It's not meant to be a store. So if you're posting on there trying to sell stuff, like you have t-shirts that you're wanting to sell, that's not really the place for it. We have our own store to sell things of that nature, but things that are related to your car more directly. In regards to what we don't allow, please don't post any pictures when you see a car accident or a crash involving a Porsche. It's already traumatic enough for them, and that's just something we don't allow at all on our Facebook pages. Don't complain about other members. If you have a problem with a member, please reach out to the executive committee or the committee that you're having a problem with to see if you can get that resolved. But don't post negative things about our members. If you can't say anything nice, like your mom says, then don't say anything at all in public. And we don't allow sponsors or non-sponsors or advertisers to post on our Facebook pages. So if you're not a sponsor or an advertiser, we don't allow posting by them at all either. Michael, is there anything else you can think that we need to add?
I don't think so. I think you guys covered it pretty well. The the situation with members, it is a growing thing because of the size of our membership, and the amount of planning that goes into doing our tours. We just can't have a tour, every weekend or even once a month. It's just there's just not enough time to get all of that done, and so we're seeing more and more members want to just get out and drive their cars, and it's perfectly fine if you want to go on Facebook and say, if anybody wants to go for a drive, meet me at Starbucks on Sunday morning, and that's it, and just leave it at that. And then whoever shows up at Starbucks, you guys go from there and y'all have fun. Just don't involve the club or the PCA or Maverick Region in the post, because essentially that's why we joined the club, was because we want to get out and enjoy our cars, and so we don't want to interfere with anybody doing that, but we do have to follow a few rules that are set by PCA National that keep us in line and keep us safe and keep our members safe, and avoid any kind of legal recourse if something were to happen out there in the world. So I think that's all.
Thanks, Michael.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, this is an ongoing topic. It just gets obvious, and we also, as Facebook admins, right, we do communicate with the members if you're gonna like get your post off, right? It's not going to be like, we just yank it off and that's about it. Because as of now, we can, because we do have a phenomenally awesome Facebook group, which is very active. So we do make sure that if you're going to, edit posts or delete a post, we just do talk to the members about it. So it's pretty, you will know if anything is wrong, and we'll give you feedback. And, we always take feedback too on this one, right? This is also a very interesting thing because A is Maverick Women's Behind the Wheel is actually very, very active group. They have their own set of events, and at least when I joined in, I always had a question as like, which event is for the women, which event can I come in, which event can my wife go by herself, which event can I come with my spouse. I always had this question, right? So we really wanted to spend a few minutes here, right, to actually talk about this on when you get a Maverick Women's Behind the Wheel event, what does it mean, what do you look out for to understand what type of an event it is, right? So Pat, I guess you should be an expert in this one, honestly, way better than anybody in the room right now, right?
Right. Well, thank you, Anjan. Myself and several other women were the instigators behind Maverick Women Behind the Wheel. And basically, this event or this subgroup was created for women. They don't have to be the drivers of their cars, they can be the navigators. So we invite all women in the Maverick region to participate in the club. And if it is just for women, we are going to try and do a better job of letting y'all know whether this is just a women's event only or one where we're going to invite guests. Just recently, we had a drive on 718, for instance, and we did say the women have to be the drivers. And this time, the men got to be the navigators, and we had a great turnout and we had a lot of fun. But it is a small group of women within the Maverick region that our goal is to get to know the other women socially so that typically when you go to a large gathering, that you find that it's, no offense to the guys, male dominated. If you see a spouse there, then you know somebody that's there and you feel you're likely to feel more comfortable and show up to a lot of the other bigger events because now you're not just the spouse, you actually know some other people there. And that's the real intent behind Maverick Women Behind the Wheel, and to give them the opportunity to ask some of the questions about our cars in a non-judgmental area where we can help answer questions and have our own tech sessions where the women feel more free to ask questions about their cars instead of potentially feeling like they might be given a hard time if they're with the guys. Personally, as I've gone to all the other tech sessions that are jointly held that we have, I ask questions and most of the guys say, "Good question." So it's a lot of fun. It's just where we've kind of streamed it out, where it's an area where women can be with women and feel not feel more accomplished in what they can do and let them feel more comfortable in their automobiles and their Porsches. We have our own DEs. This will be our 5th year to have our own HPDE on September 19th. So we just want to encourage the women to enjoy their cars more, whether they're the drivers or the navigators. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of
No,
fun.
yeah, it's pretty neat. So I have three things that I want to add here, right, from a different perspective, right? So
Uh-huh.
number one is I have actually PCA and different regions of the PCA have actually recognized the fact that this group was pretty unique, and they want to adopt similar concept in various different regions, additional regions of it. So it did make a lot of waves in the PCA national level at a region level. I submit myself for the website contest and I do get feedback specifically on the women's page like for 2 years in a row saying that this is unique, we love it, right? That is number one. Number two is this event the events are a great mix. If you look at our regular events, right, I would say like the non Porsche centric event might be something like a happy hour, and literally that's about it, right? Whereas in this case, right, we are looking at them having cookie contest, there's a baking contest. Right now they have a thing about what was it, cooking class in Surla table, right? It's just unreal, right? So it is
Yeah.
very, very, very diverse from an event perspective, way more diverse
Yes.
than what our region does, honestly, right? And the third thing I want to mention is uh, is actually also from a membership perspective. So when you sign up for a PCA member, your spouse actually gets a free co-membership with yourself. So I know maybe Kevin, I'll get with you and maybe we'll send a communication out on this one. But you can actually get your spouse as part of a become a PCA member with the whole PCA member ID and the whole enchilada, right? So
Correct.
well, that doesn't matter, but as a you can actually get your spouse connected with the Maverick women behind the wheel and let them like kind of like take it over. They send their stuff by emails and stuff. It's just phenomenal. So just wanted to let you know that you don't have to be like a primary PCA member for or technically even we would like it if you become a co-member, but again, technically you don't need to be a co-member to be a part. You just need a spouse who is a PCA member, I guess, right? I hope that
Yes.
covers a few points here, right, Pat?
Thank you.
Uh, and again, they have the website. You should definitely track them out, and it's pretty neat. It's all awesome, right? Very quickly, right? The other way around, like how do you guys can reach out to us, right? Again, Pat and Michael, you guys can take this for sure, right? On how can the members reach out to us?
So there are so many different chairs, but if you want to reach out to the tours or charity or anything like that, you can email the chairs directly. And to get their email addresses, the easiest thing is to go to the website and or I'm guessing on the app somewhere. Each of them has their own email address, and you can email them directly to ask them questions or even give them suggestions about things you'd like to see happen. The executive committee, we also have our own email, and you can reach out to us as well if you have any bigger issues that you want us to tackle. And that address is also on the website. It's, I think, ec@mavpca.org. And then if you want to ask about a specific event or want to submit an event to be shared with the members of the club, then you can send it to comm. As Michael said, that's communications@mavpca.org. And then the social media messaging is directly, you can DM us, direct message us on through those different Facebook pages, and we can respond to you in that way. So there's a multitude of ways for you to reach out to us, and we hope you'll use them. And we're not afraid to answer questions, and we'll do the best we can to answer your question and get your issues resolved.
And one more thing, don't forget that all of those email addresses for the different committees is in the page in Slipstream. So
Yes.
along with everybody's picture and their particular title or committee, the email addresses are there as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, Anshan, we didn't even think about Slipstream as a form of communication. But
Yeah, I think we'll be having Slipstream as a whole 1 hour thing for sure. I
yeah,
mean, there's so
but
much to talk about Slipstream, right? It's just
Yeah,
yes,
unreal.
but
I've been noticeably quiet here,
yes, Doug, sorry about that.
especially when it
So
comes
we,
to
You,
back in the days before the internet, Slipstream was the major form of communication, and it started off as just a mimeograph newsletter, very old school, and has evolved over the years. And our uh, upcoming event page, used to be the way people found out about events. Fortunately, we've got Facebook in our calendar now, so there's a push in there. You see at the bottom, you'll see that we direct people to go to the calendar to get the most recent information.
right. Thanks, Doug.
yeah,
You should receive a Slipstream magazine every other
yeah.
month. And so there are 6 issues a year. If you haven't received one, again, you can email me and let me know, and we'll be glad to check to make sure you're on the list and when you joined and so on and so forth. Doug, when did the last issue come out? I don't know.
I think we should
The
get it
last
last
issue,
week.
yeah, you
We
should have
should have
received
got
it in the
it.
last 2 weeks. It's July, August, and we're
Thanks.
trying to get. We had some delays there because of Juneteenth and July 4th. Our goal is to try to get it to you on the first of the first. It's a bi-monthly, as you said. So the next issue will be September, October, and we hope it'll be there by Labor Day.
Perfect. Thanks, Doug.
So even after all that, we miss Slipstream. So you can imagine, right? um, Again, I just want to take a moment, right, just before we get into question. Like again, thank you, Pat, for doing this. And also, I really should reach out. I should give a shout out to all our chairs too, honestly, because a lot of this goes into it. Like we just see a calendar entry in there, but they do so much just to make sure that the things happen, events happen. So I really want to give a quick shout out to the chairs also in this aspect, for just being brilliant on this, on helping us coordinate and keeping things going on. Like, right, for example, HPDE, they have everything coordinated till the end of this year. That's phenomenal. And they gave it to us in like the second week of January of this year. So that's the extent of the depth of coordination they do upfront, right? So I really wanted to give a shout out to all the chairs. Have to. I mean, it's impossible without them for sure, right? Um, yes, Pat, Michael, anything you want to add before we just ask members to unmute? And if you have any questions, we can always answer them. I think we
No,
covered a lot of questions in chat already, but anything else we can answer, we can always answer.
No, I'm ready for questions.
And again,
Um,
comments are also welcome. Feedback is welcome. I know this is the very first one that we are having. Really, feedback on, will this, is this format useful? Not really, or secondly, what topics you want to cover. So also open for feedback, right?
Dennis Bainbridge here. First of all, thank you for the work that everybody does on this. Looking at the calendar, at least on the app, and I have to confess I haven't really looked at it on the website, but I couldn't find a search function other than the filter.
Yeah, we don't have one.
Okay.
It's a good feedback. Let me see what we can do about it, right?
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's actually a good one. Yeah, the location ways, I'm not really very enthusiastic about segregating by location, but search, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. But yes, you can do it by, you can do the pop-up coffee, yada yada yada, stuff like that. But search, you have a good point. Let me see what we can do about it.
Yeah, and actually, if you could search, that would allow you to kind of filter the location just by saying, Fort Worth or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. No, makes sense. I mean, it's obvious, but I didn't. Sometimes, like I said, like, the obvious thing is what I miss the most. That's a good one. Yeah. Any other questions, right? I know we were very a little extra thorough in covering the points, but anything
Yeah,
we can answer. Yeah, go ahead,
yeah,
Randy.
I've got something on the reach of the email. Anjan and I talked about this a little bit. I always thought that when the email was sent out to the whole club, that maybe like 2 or 3 thousand people were getting this, but apparently that's not the case. And is there anything we can do to increase that reach? And what are the reasons that a lot of people aren't getting the emails? Not because of the the email problems we have here and there, but is it because some people actually don't have an email, or that they haven't given us their email?
well, Randy, that's a fascinating question. Because I get feedback immediately from PCA telling me how many emails went out, and typically it's telling me that 4,400 emails went out. Now, remember that that's going to be primary and the affiliate member as well combined. So when you say you feel like only 2,000 emails go out, why is that the case? If there's somebody that's not getting an email, we definitely need to know about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and
I'm not talking about how many go out. I'm talking about how many are received.
Well, as far as I know, my emails go out all the way. Now, if you're talking about the board members and stuff like that's a different email
yeah,
system than what we
yeah,
use for board emails versus the emails that I send to club members. So that's
yeah.
two different formats.
Yeah, and Randy, it is the nature. I know you have something called a email recipient, receipt. Sorry, not recipient, receipt concept, where if you go open an email, you get a receipt email back. Uh, I believe PCA doesn't use that, but you have a point. Like, if the email is our primary mode of communication, and how do we make sure that that primary mode is solid? Um, we do try to educate people, and that's one of the reasons why this is actually going to go on a website also. And so people, if who are curious on why they don't get an email, can go through this and understand and kind of figure out their next steps. That is number one. That's one of the reasons we are also doing comms as a very first one. Second thing is also the various set of reasons, right? Top three reasons are, it's either sitting in the spam folder. Second reason is the email address they gave was wrong, or rather was something that they put in. You sometimes you do that and you put the least interesting email that you ever follow in, and you forget about it, and then all of a sudden you are so involved in the club you never realize that your email address is like third tier email that you use. And the third one is also, you apparently can select a box that says do not send me emails and notifications in PCA. So that also has been one big reason, right, for happening. Do we have numbers around this? No, we don't. I'll be very honest with you, because we don't have visibility on the numbers on how many people get it and how many people don't get it. And the reason why is those 1,500 people are not getting it. We sadly don't have numbers, because PCA is the one running these emails campaigns for us. Maybe what we can do, Michael and Pat, is like we can start being more educative. Like if we have Mavs and Mocha going on, we put a placard in there saying that if you don't receive emails, this is what you do. Talk to comms, right? We just start doing a little bit more on the Facebook side, saying that if you don't receive emails, do ABC and or reach out to comms, right? We'll start using alternative means of communication, which by the way we actually are very deep into, apart from emails, right? People have, for example, our word of mouth is unreal. Like the way the word of mouth spreads over in Maverick region is like phenomenal, right? It does create headaches, but it actually pretty solid, right? So we can make things work, and it's a great point, right? We don't have visibility. I'll be very honest with you. We don't have the numbers, right? Visibility on the numbers, right? I know it's not the best answer to your question, but a reality for us, right?
You may actually want to double check with PCA. If you're getting a report that tells you how many go out, they may have a filter on there for bounce backs and be able to tell you that. So that'll tell
Yeah.
you if there's a mistyped email address or something like that.
Yeah, I
I
think
can
that's a
do
good
that.
point too. Yeah, that's actually a right one. That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? Any other comments?
Wendy made a
Yeah,
good
on
comment there in the chat that I think there's an option when you sign up for membership that you can check a box that you don't want to receive emails. And if they've been members for 5, 10, 20 years, they might have checked that box a long time ago, and now they want
Yeah.
to receive emails and they forgot that they checked that box. The other thing too is that people change email addresses over time, and the email that they used when they registered may not be what they currently use every day, and they don't realize that their profile with PCA shows an old email address. It may even show an old home address, and so they may not receive Slipstream anymore either. So a lot of this could fall back on the members, that they're just not realizing that they haven't updated their profile with PCA.org.
Good
yeah,
point.
Michael, yeah, good point. And Anjan, you brought up about adding a spouse or whomever. Yeah, you can go in. It's called a co-member or a non-affiliate member, or sorry, an affiliate member. For example, we have 3,095 members, and we have 1,460 co-members. So we're up to 4,500 members. And when it comes to the email, and again, my example is a much smaller portion because I send emails to the new members every month. I may have, when I do the emailer through PCA's website, it may say, hey, you're sending 67 emails, but only 63 are going through because 4 people said, I don't want any correspondence. And Michael, to your point, 5 years down the road, they're like, how come you're not communicating to me? I'm like, well, that's because you set it up that way. So, or they changed email addresses or whatever.
Yeah, and that's the reason why we like very clearly when we are doing this, we did me and Pat, or rather it was Pat's idea to be very clear about the fact that if you're not getting it, email comms, let's take it through, right? So we do have an option, a singular option. Email comms at mavpca.com. We'll take it from there. If we need to involve Kevin, we'll involve Kevin. Yada yada. Yada. We'll figure it out. But talk to us. We'll get it to you, right? Yeah, that was a good one. I think we do have a few cool action items on that one for sure. Any other question, guys, or anything else? Oh yeah, I want to piggyback on what Kevin said about affiliate members, right? So they also have a pretty phenomenal PCA juniors program. So if you have kids, you can actually put them in as PCA juniors in PCA, and it's again free. You're not paying any additional fees on it. They send the kids stuff. They get involved in the parade in like pretty phenomenal ways. So yes, so PCA juniors is also. I'm just gonna piggyback on what Kevin said, that that's something that is worth a look, right, Kevin?
Yes. And as of today, we have 279 PCA juniors,
Woo!
which is an increase. I think it's been a flat 274 since I took over communication or membership. So,
Yeah, I have three in there. I won't mention the third one, but I
all
have
right.
three in there. I didn't know. Honestly, I did not know. And we need to do that calm out because it's a pretty cool. They give you a lot of swag.
They
We don't
do.
even get that much. I didn't get any swag when I joined PCA, but when my kids joined PCA Junior, they got like 2 boxes of swag each. I was like, what's going on? Right. So it's pretty neat. I think that's it. Looks like, oh, I have two more messages. Print outreach to encourage. Okay, consider using print outreach, that is Slipstream, to encourage all members to update their profile, including email preferences. Yes, I think Joel will have to go. It'll have to be a multi-tier system, right? We'll have some people receiving Slipstream that are not receiving emails. You'll have some people receiving emails who are not receiving Slipstream. I think it's going to be a little bit of a multi-tier approach, and also the size of the region is not. I mean, we wouldn't want it any other way, but trying to counter. If it was 200 people, we could have counted, but we'll see. But it's a good thing. I think we need to brainstorm, right? Michael, Pat, maybe the EC needs to brainstorm on how we can kind of like increase the communication reach on this one. Great feedback for sure.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks, Joel.
Yes, Heather Briggs is the Maverick region and she runs PCA juniors for the whole PCA. So yes, she's unreal, man. She's awesome. Yeah, if you think I am high energy, you should meet her. She's phenomenal. All right, I think that's it. Any suggestions on what we should cover next, right? Do you guys have any suggestions on what topic we can cover next? Stuff like Slipstream, stuff like HPD, stuff like autocross, Maverick behind the wheels, charity. Any suggestions that you want us to cover? It's an open topic, right?
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I think maybe DE would be a good one.
Hey, Anjan, just curious, what's your long-term view for this? Once a month or once a quarter?
Right now, currently it's once a month. Long-term view is we'll see as it goes. Either we have a lot of topics, honestly. We should be busy enough for at least maybe 12, 15 sessions, I guess. But again, right now we are kept it extremely flexible. So you never know, right? Maybe once a month. Right now, currently, as it stands, is once a month.
Okay,
Let me give you a very simple answer, right? Will it change? Maybe, maybe not. No idea.
great. Thanks.
Yes, and of course it gets recorded and it's gonna be uploaded on the website, and it will be used. It will be there for reference going forward, right? So you don't need to be in the meeting. So it is gonna be documented through and through. It will have its own page.
Okay.
Does that help, Kevin?
Yes, sir. Thanks.
All right, all done. Yeah, we got to try that. Do it again, Bruce. Maybe we need to get snowed in, right? I don't know.
Or the heat, get kept in because of the heat. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we got to stay in because it's too hot. Even that's an option. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun catching up with members we hadn't seen in a while. I think doing a once every quarter or not even social Zoom call is a lot of fun.
I believe so. Yeah, I think it definitely has a lot of value to it, like doing the social. So what Bruce is saying is like we did do a couple of social Zoom calls, in which you just come meet and
There
that
was
Zoom call
there
wound
was
up
no
being,
agenda. It was just
yeah, nothing. That Zoom call, for example, became like pretty much how to move to Spain or Portugal Zoom call, if I remember right.
yeah.
But but it did had its perks, right? For sure, right? All right. Again, thank you so much. I know we are 30 minutes above. That's also another feedback. I think it's not going to be like a 45-minute thing. It's going to be pretty longer. So I'll try to incorporate that in the future meeting. But again, super thank you everybody, right? Especially guys on the chat who've been asking some really good questions, getting some phenomenal suggestions, honestly.
Good feedback.
Yeah, great feedback, right? And that's what we need, right? Michael, Pat, you guys want to close it off? All yours, right?
Yeah,
Ah, well.
I just wanted to say thank you, Pat and Anjan. Obviously, you put in a lot of work in putting this topic together and covering everything that you did. And thank you to the. It looks like it's down to 16, but I think at one point we had 18 people here, and that's a pretty good turnout for our first one. I say share with your friends what they missed, and maybe we can have a bigger turnout next time, and we'll just keep this thing growing as the club continues to grow, and we'll come up with some good topics and hopefully some good information for all the members. So thanks again, guys. I appreciate
thank you very much, Pat and Jen and Michael. Great job. You guys are doing tremendous work.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
We appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
Thank
Good
you.
night.